Emily Carter had always been the invisible one, the 32-year-old who faded into the background like a forgotten shadow in her family's grand portrait. But that Christmas Eve, in the opulent private dining room of the Willowbrook Country Club in Weston, Massachusetts, something inside her finally cracked, not with rage, but with a cold, calculated calm. She watched her mother, Margaret, circle the table like a queen bestowing favors, handing out elegantly wrapped boxes from Neiman Marcus to everyone: her father Robert, her brother Michael, his latest girlfriend, her sister Sophia, Sophia's tech mogul husband Alex, the cousins, aunts, uncles, even the kids. Everyone except Emily. The air was thick with the scent of roasted turkey and pine from the lavish centerpieces. But to Emily, it smelled like years of quiet dismissal. She set her fork down, her heart pounding not from hurt anymore, but from the weight of the truth she'd been hoarding like a secret weapon. Margaret paused, her pearl necklace catching the chandelier light, as Emily cleared her throat. "Before we move to dessert," Emily said, her voice steady, cutting through the murmur of excited unwrapping, "I have a gift for all of you." The room fell into an uneasy hush. In the Carter family, Emily didn't make scenes. She was the reliable one who showed up early to help set tables, who nodded politely through stories of others' triumphs, who refilled drinks without complaint. Margaret's smile tightened. That practiced politeness she wore like armor. "Emily, dear, we're in the middle of gifts. Can it wait?" But Emily didn't back down. For once, she held their gaze, feeling the years of swallowed words rise up like bile. The dinner had started as it always did, Emily arriving 2 hours early at Margaret's insistence via a curt text from months ago. "You'll handle the setup, right? You're so good at the details no one else notices." She'd folded napkins into intricate fans, double-checked the sommelier's list, and even alerted the chef to Aunt Evelyn's nut allergy. Then Sophia swept in late, all glamour in her Chanel dress, her Instagram-perfect life on full display with Alex trailing behind, their designer-clad Yorkies in tow. Sophia air-kissed cheeks, presented a box of generic chocolates that somehow claimed prime spot on the dessert table, shoving aside Emily's homemade pecan pie. Michael sauntered in next, his paralegal fiancé on his arm, diving into tales of his major cases at the mid-tier law firm where he'd stagnated for years, still crashing in their parents' guest house at 34. Emily had sat there, sandwiched between deaf Great-Aunt Clara and her rambunctious 9-year-old nephew who kept spilling juice on her lap, sipping her Cabernet and offering the expected smiles. No one asked about her life. Why would they? To them, she was the steady but unremarkable daughter, running a small marketing consultancy that barely registered on their radar. As Margaret announced her special surprises and distributed the gifts, matching Rolex watches for the men, diamond pendants for the women, all engraved with the family monogram, Emily waited and waited until it was clear. Nothing for her. Sophia caught her eye and smirked. "Oh, Em doesn't need trinkets. She's too practical for that." Laughter rippled, awkward and cutting, like knives disguised as jokes. A server hovering nearby averted his eyes, sensing the undercurrent of cruelty. That was the snap, the moment the dam of 3 decades burst. But not in floods of tears. Instead, a serene resolve washed over Emily. She folded her napkin, stood, and reached for the slim briefcase she'd brought, the one Margaret had eyed earlier with a dismissive, "always working." Even on Christmas, the family underestimated her, and that invisibility had been her greatest asset. While Sophia curated her 150,000 follower feed with filtered lattes and sponsored posts, And Michael bragged about courtroom wins that were really just settlements. Emily had forged something real in the quiet hours. It started back in 2017. After Grandma Evelyn's passing left each grandchild a $15,000 inheritance. Emily's share? Redirected by her parents to fund Sophia's budding influencer career. She has star potential, Margaret had said, patting Emily's hand. You're the sensible one, you get it. Emily did get it, got investment better than anyone. She scraped together $4,000 from her entry-level job savings and launched Carter Digital Solutions from her tiny Brooklyn walk-up. At first, it was solo gigs, helping local startups with digital marketing after data hacks or PR flops. She honed a system discreet, data-driven, devastatingly effective. By 2020, when Sophia mocked her on a live stream as still handing out flyers in the digital age, Emily had 10 employees and her first big tech client. By Thanksgiving 2022, as her pecan pie was sidelined for Sophia's store-bought cheesecake, Carter Digital had offices in New York, San Francisco, and Austin, boasting clients like Silicon Valley unicorns and a quiet congressional campaign recovering from a leak. In 2023, Stanford invited her to keynote on digital ethics. She mentioned it casually to Robert. He grunted and pivoted to Michael's promotion. No family showed. Emily kept it all hidden, drove her old Honda to visits instead of her Tesla, wore off-the-rack clothes over her Armani collection, never mentioned her Manhattan penthouse or Napa Valley retreat. Now, standing there as relatives fingered their new luxuries, Emily clicked her phone, hijacking the room's projector meant for family slides. Instead, the Carter Digital Solutions logo appeared, a sleek eagle soaring from code fragments. What the hell? Robert muttered, squinting. This is my company, Emily said, her tone boardroom firm. I built it 7 years ago. She flipped slides, revenue charts rocketing from $150,000 to $5.2 million quarterly. This is what I do when I'm too practical. Sophia's smirk faded. Next slide, client breakdowns, no names. Per NDAs. But categories screamed prestige, tech giants, pro sports teams, Hollywood execs, political ops. We specialize in digital crisis management, Emily explained. When a breach or scandal hits, we scrub, rebuild, protect. Photos followed, sleek offices with skyline views. Her penthouse with its private terrace. The 50-acre Napa estate with vineyards and a lap pool. This is my life, she said flatly. The room went tomb silent. Jazz standards from speakers underscoring the shock. Margaret's face blanched, then mottled red. You hid this from us? She hissed. Yes, Emily replied. I did. Sophia forced a chuckle. It's just a startup, right? Everyone's an entrepreneur now. But Alex shifted uncomfortably. Actually, he said, voice low. She saved my firm last year. Eyes whipped to him. Sophia's widened. What? Alex straightened. After that investor pullout, we were tanking. Emily's team rebuilt our online presence. Kept us afloat. You went to my sister? Sophia snapped. You would have leaked it for likes, Alex shot back. Weary. Michael leaned in. Carter Digital? My firm pitched you for the Harlan case last year. You ghosted us. We're selective, Emily confirmed. Applause started faintly from Great Aunt Clara. Who caught the vibe if not the details? Atta girl. Emily. It spread. Some genuine. Some bewildered. Margaret stayed rigid. Robert looked lost. Why keep it secret? He asked, finally seeing her. When you're taught humility means shrinking, Emily said. You learn to hoard your victories. She sat, closing her briefcase. Now, about that creme brulee. The fallout hit like aftershocks. Margaret's Facebook post the next day, "So proud of all my kids' successes," drew snarky comments after a waiter's viral TikTok of the scene exploded under ungifted butt boss. Sophia's main sponsor, Glow Beauty, dumped her for the inauthentic vibe. Michael emailed apologies and a pitch for legal work. Emily let it simmer. Alex called thanks. Mentioning Sophia's brand reassessment hiatus, they were separating. Christmas morning. Emily walked Manhattan's snowy streets, espresso in hand, her phone pinging with 12 new client leads from the buzz. An MIT invite followed. She felt unburdened. No more dimming her shine. That night, she hosted her team at her penthouse, toasting visibility. Revenge, she realized, wasn't ruin, it was revelation. Forcing mirrors on those who'd ignored her reflection. Weeks later, reporters chased the Shadow CEO story. Emily picked selective features. Margaret called. Strained. "We need to talk." "Yes," Emily agreed. "Your father and I protected you," Margaret started. "You were sensitive." "Quiet." "That's your rewrite," Emily countered. "I showed ambition. You funneled it to them." Silence. "I'd like to see your office." "Your home." "Why no? You're my daughter." "That wasn't enough before." Another pause. "I didn't know what gift you'd want." "You never say." Emily nearly laughed at the lie. "Send me dates." "Tea." "Just you." The visit was tense. Margaret's eyes widened at the penthouse's grandeur, marble floors, art collection, river views. She brought a belated pendant, identical to Christmas. Emily set it aside. "You decided I was lesser," she said over tea. Margaret protested, then deflated. "I thought you had no drive." "You never asked." By tour's end, library, kitchen with her recipe trials, office of awards, Margaret admitted. "You're capable." "I had no idea." "Not quite sorry." "But close." Emily rebuffed the pendant. "Inclusion now feels opportunistic." Tears fell. "I'm sorry I hurt you." "Intention doesn't erase pain," Emily said. "Moving forward, equality. Respect." Margaret nodded. "I'll try." Post-visit. Michael texted Emily ignored. Sophia went dark online. Her agent pitching collabs declined. Alex met for coffee, divorce filed. Her perfection was exhausting. Sympathy stirred for Sophia's fragile empire. At work, Emily launched an authenticity arm for brands post-crisis, drawing from her scars. February's anniversary dinner at the club, Emily arrived in her Tesla. Suited sharp. Gifts, spa weekend for parents. Seating? Beside Margaret. Robert toasted 3 exceptional kids, lingering on her. Later, he asked for time. "You never inquired." "I've been absent." "Let me change." "Tour the office next week." Sophia approached, favorite now. "Just respected." "My sponsor lost tanked me." "You belittled me for years." Unease. Reinvent authentically. Sophia did. Raw video on failure. Family. Viral honesty. Robert's tour sparked insights. An invite to intimate dinner. Spring, LA office. Cookbook deal under her name. Family mended slowly, weekly calls. Eric's wedding roll. Sophia's advocacy shift. Alex's fresh start. Margaret requested, "Christmas at yours?" Smaller. Healing. Emily agreed. On terms. Preparations. Equal gifts. Round table. Eve. Family arrived. Nerves palpable. Toast to second chances. Gifts. Thoughtful heirlooms. Recipes. Inspirations. No oversights. As they left, Emily stood alone. Fire crackling. Realizing revenge evolved to renewal. Snow fell, she toasted her sovereignty, visible. Whole. The overlooked had claimed her throne. Not in destruction. But in defiant reconstruction,